Hello, I am Imonia. I'm from Finland and I'm a content creator and currently a volunteer in Ukraine. About a year ago, I was serving as a volunteer in the Finnish army. And during that time, I still felt like that wasn't enough to learn how to defend my own country. So I took the opportunity to come here to Ukraine and help in any way I can. During the weekends in the army, I actually collected money from live streaming. I'm a Twitch streamer and I have a bunch of streamer friends. And then I had this idea that maybe we could try to buy an ambulance from streaming on Twitch together. And then we did a week project when we all streamed together video games. And we actually ended up raising $50,000 in 1 week. And we bought 2 ambulances. That's the last ambulance I recently brought to Eastern Ukraine. And I hanged out with the medics a little bit and followed on some evacuation missions. That was very interesting, you know, not only collecting money, but also seeing the use of the ambulance and the people that are being saved. That for me is a lot more meaningful. And I think the worst part was definitely like having to make some of the patients sit down, even though some of their legs had blown up. It felt really terrible because we could only have 1 patient on the stretcher. And it definitely made me realize how big of a need there is for ambulances and vehicles in Ukraine. But yeah, we had to bandage them, open the bandages, re-bandage them to make sure they're not bleeding through the bandages onto the floor. And like first I thought I was gonna be like maybe disgusted by the blood or something, but actually I didn't have that at all. I remember just sitting there with the patients and just being so angry. Like there's accidents, there can be car accidents, and that is of course terrible. But these men, this is not an accident. This is Russians purposely that has been trying to kill them. You know, many countries were under Soviet rule not a long time ago. Now my country, Finland, was not under Soviet rule, but we were under Russian rule. So I think that this is very personal to many of us because we know we can listen to stories from our grandparents about how it was during that time. And you realize how terrifying it is. And you know, like no country willingly would be under, I would say, Russian rule because it never has been good. I don't think, you know, I can't come up with a single country that would say, you know, it was actually better under Russian rule. Around 100 years ago, my ancestors were fighting, you know, for my country's independence against Russia. And now Finland is one of the happiest countries in the world. And that is thanks to these people that were fighting for Finland and helping us out. You know, Finland is a very small country and we would never be able to do it alone. But that's why I think I can relate a lot to the war here in Ukraine because, you know, Ukraine is also a smaller country that has to stand against Russia. And if the war stops right now, if it freezes, then it's going to just continue after Russia building up more and getting more strength. But yeah, for me, like the reason I help Ukraine is because it's my way to show gratitude to my ancestors. And on top of that, looking at the history, I know how much a smaller country like Finland or Ukraine really needs help. Like it's not enough that we are just fighting alone, no matter how much we're willing to fight. And I hope that one day I will be able to visit Ukraine and there will be peace and I don't have to sleep through sirens anymore and I can just enjoy the country for what it is.